Hello and welcome to Murder Mystery Haunted History. Here on this channel, we cover a little bit of true crime, a little bit of paranormal, and from time to time, we cover the history of both true crime and paranormal. If that sounds interesting to you, please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button. It does help to get our channel out there in the algorithm and helps other people to find us. If you are a returning subscriber, I hope you truly know how much it means to me that you're always here to support us and keep us going. Thank you so much for your time. With that being said, let's jump on into today's story. Today we're going to talk about a young woman named Shanquella Robinson. She was 25 years old and she died on October 29th while on vacation with 6 of her friends in Cabo, San Lucas, Mexico. Before we get into how she passed away and what happened in Cabo San Lucas, let's talk a little bit about who Shanquella was as a person. Shanquella was a young woman who was motivated. She graduated from Winston-Salem University in 2019, and in 2022, she was working as a children's hair braider as well as owning her own boutique, a women's clothing boutique. She was focused and determined to create the life that she wanted and dreamed of, and by all accounts, she was doing that. She was living life to its fullest, working hard day and night, and at the same time playing just as hard. She would go on vacations often with her friends and her family, but she worked just as hard. Anyone that knew her to be kind and giving. She would often give the shirt off her back to make someone else have what they needed. These are the stories that have come out about her. Nowhere has there been anything negative said about her. I think it's important to know that as we move forward. She was just described as one of the most gentle souls you could possibly imagine, and just a very hard worker at such a very young age. All right, let's jump into what happened. So Shanquella went to Cabo San Lucas with one of her best friends. She met Cale Cook. I think I'm saying that name wrong, but Mr. Cook was her best friend that she met in 2014. He had a group of friends that were going to be going to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico to celebrate their friend Nazar Wiggins' birthday. And so they were all going to go together, and Shanquella was looking forward to the trip. Her mother was not concerned because her friend, Kalali, I cannot pronounce this name, I'm just going to call him Mr. Cook. Mr. Cook had been on family trips, family vacations with them, and was her best friend, so she was going to be with him and she would be safe, right? So they went on this vacation to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, and it was Friday, October 28th. Shanquella left Charlotte, North Carolina on a flight. She arrives to Cabo San Lucas, and once she gets there, she does call and touch base with her mother and says, I'm here, we're having a chef tonight, we're going to have tacos, and I will call and talk with you tomorrow. And her mom says, great, I love you, have fun, I'll talk with you tomorrow. Then there is a video released on Instagram, a couple videos actually. There's a video released of Shanquella sleeping in a hammock, and her friend Mr. Cook is saying, and I apologize for saying this, but this is what is said in the video. He's saying, we've got our first dead body, meaning in the video she's passed out drunk, I think is what he's saying, but we'll get to that later. She obviously wasn't that drunk because later she posted a video to her Instagram of her having the taco dinner with all of her friends, and she does not seem that intoxicated. This will become important as we go on into the story. So the very next morning, Mr. Cook calls home to Shanquella's mom and tells her that Shanquella has alcohol poisoning and she's very sick and that she's resting and will get in touch later. Shanquella's mom is a little bit concerned that her daughter is that sick, but again feels comforted in the fact that she's with her best friend and her best friend's there to take care of her. Within hours, her mother receives a phone call again, this time stating that Shanquella is dead. And again being told that this was due to alcohol poisoning. This isn't how things went down. And we're going to learn more about that now. So Shanquella was at the villa. It was a very luxury type villa, and all 6 of these people were sharing it. Videos have now since been released and leaked that were taken while there. There's a video of Shanquella walking around on the morning after they arrived, and she's looking for all of her friends. Doesn't know where they are, saying she's ready to go in the pool. Where are you people? She uses other language. And when she ends up finding them, they're all in a bedroom, kind of conversing. And it seems like, since we now know the facts of what happened, and you'll know in just a minute, that they may have been scheming. Why else were they all in that room when they were supposed to be going swimming? We don't know. So, from there, it must have been not that long after, another video ends up being leaked, and we believe that video, or it leads us to believe that that video was taken shortly after the video of her finding all of them in this room together. Now, I'm going to tell you about the video that was leaked, but I'm going to tell you that in just a minute. So I'm going to tell you what ends up happening after Shanquella's mom receives the phone call that her daughter has passed away. All of the friends leave Mexico. They don't stay. They just hop on a plane and come home, leaving Shanquella's body behind. They show up. Mr. Cook shows up several times to visit with Shanquella's mom and again explain that this is alcohol poisoning. She passed away from alcohol poisoning. He shows up another time with 2 of the other young ladies that were on this trip. And they give their accounts of what happened when they were in Mexico. All of the accounts seem a little bit different, and Shanquella's mom starts to get a little bit suspicious that something's not quite adding up. She had been kind of suspicious all along, but became even more suspicious as all the stories weren't adding up. So, by the time that Mr. Cook had brought the 2 women over to visit, it was right after that Shanquella's mom received a phone call that there was a video that was leaked. And on that video, Shanquella was being beaten. And that video is out there. I may include it here. If I do, you'll find it here. If not, I've decided that it's just not something that I want to include, because watching it broke my heart. Shanquella can be heard in the video as these 2 other women are beating her. You can hear a male say, "Shanquella, at least fight back." And you can hear Shanquella say no. She was not a violent person, and she refused to fight back as these 2 women beat her. We later find out, when the death certificate is released, that she did not die from alcohol poisoning. She died from a broken neck. Here's where it gets really crazy. They are just now releasing an arrest warrant in Mexico to extradite someone back for her murder. But they've not released a name on who they're going to extradite for her murder. And in the video, you can clearly see that one of the girls is beating her repeatedly, and then the other girl comes in and slams Shanquella down on her neck. And then from that point forward, Shanquella does not move. Let's get into what these Cabo 6, and I refuse to call them friends, did after this. They didn't get her help. Shanquella's mom had asked if they could take her to the hospital when she thought that her daughter had alcohol poisoning. and was told that it cost $5,000 to take her to the emergency room, so they weren't going to do that. When it did get to a point where they thought she might need some help, they called the concierge and they requested medical help, and a doctor came to the room. At that point, she was incoherent and not making very much sense. The doctor who came thought she may be inebriated and tried to start an IV, but it wouldn't work. The doctor was there for over an hour, and after an hour of being there, Shanquella went into a seizure. At that point, her heart gave out, and they couldn't resuscitate her, and she passed away. The doctor, while there for that hour, had requested that they take her by ambulance to the hospital so that she could further examine her and get a better idea of what was going on, but the roommates again refused. I feel like the roommates knew that if she had gone to the hospital, they would have discovered that it wasn't alcohol poisoning. And I feel like, this is my opinion, that the reason she wasn't answering questions or responding was not because of alcohol poisoning, and it may have presented that way, but I believe the broken neck caused some brain injury and she couldn't respond. My opinion. But after this, they just hopped on an airplane and headed home and left her there, left her body there. Shanquella's parents were left with being told that their daughter had died of alcohol poisoning. They were left with these monsters visiting their home, and then later to find out through the death certificate that their daughter had died from a broken neck. I can't imagine. And then they had to figure out how to get their daughter's body home. This story breaks my heart. And what breaks my heart even more was this story was not out there in the media. No one was talking about this until the video got leaked and people picked up on the video. And that's when this became viral. When people picked up on the fact that this viral video of this girl getting her butt kicked was the same as the girl that had passed away. And then the story of everything that had happened. Currently, we still don't know who's being charged. We do know that there are charges pending and someone is being extradited, but we don't know who that someone is at this point. I plan on keeping up with this story, and I will keep you updated as well. But I'd love to hear below what you think and what you as a mother or father would have felt like to get this information about your child and to have these friends, the Cabo 6, come to your home, sit in your home, look at you, knowing what they had done to your child. How would you feel? Let me know in the comment section below, and let me know anything else you have thoughts or information to add to this particular case. Wishing you all much kindness and much love. Hug your loved ones a little tighter. Bye for now.